that level, then they begin to sync with similarly situated mitochondrial developed women in order to be the Tesla coils of this creation, right? So the pole shift was the shifting of the core this time instead of the mantle. The Anunnaki is not allowed to interfere right now because the war that was being waged on Earth that started on Nibiru over the war in heaven and landed on Earth, right? The fallen angels. Um, that has to play out as if there is no super beings or exceptionally gifted beings. It has to play out as we educate ourselves, the guys in the system, above the program that created the system. Once we mentally surpass the program that maintains the system, now we are in a position to alter the program to the benefit of the most people, right? Um, and do you think at this point their DNA is so integrated? Okay, so they have integrated DNA with the humans. But not all. It's more than one bloodline lineage of royal families on Nibiru or Rianos, what they call it in the New Testament, which is heaven. This differing bloodlines all came to Earth, sent delegates, I should say, to Earth to assist with giving a drop of divine blood to the newest addition to the human family that was denied rights of ascension by the Anunnaki scientists. And the war that was originally two brothers, Enki and Enlil, or Set and Ra, Osiris, Set and Osiris, and it ended up being a war instead of the two brothers fighting between Heru, right, the fallen father's son, and the uncle, Set, who tried to usurp or take or claim the kingdom as he had won it in warfare, which makes his rulership legitimate in the Anunnaki text. But because the earthborn Heru, heir to the throne, it is the one that Enlil has to stop from becoming a mature enough adult to assert the tribal rights of the tribes to govern, control, and repair and replenish the lands of Turtle Island, which is our natural birthright, right? So we already have some sizable portion of their DNA, but we also have our own badass earthborn DNA off the motherline through the power of love, wakening and resonating through the mitochondria in the cells of all as the powerhouse of all living cells is mitochondria on Earth, because mitochondria is a woman's right to create and recreate and procreate according to their creative capacity and their ability to link with the dark mother. And anybody that have the mitochondria can communicate directly with the dark mother. And once you experience that level of love and power, you won't never want nothing else less than that. Let me get caught up now. Okay, so I hope I answered you, Iron Bush. How do I unpin? She rapping this mofo. Witting the Devil. Witting the Devil is an excellent book. It's one of my favorite books of all time because you have to raise your thinking above the thinking of the devil, or else you're gonna always be his victim chasing. Cheryl Jones said, they are doing that with this abortion, trafficking rituals, etc. is influencing this. You are right, sweetie. The control of the um, positive golden heart ones being distracted with the gossip of the dirt of others will slow down the ascension rate of everybody. All of that stuff is connected. The abortion is a Babylonian blood magic ritual to snatch a woman's child out before before the child and the mother can bond. That's an old torture technique. Now it's common practice, and women freely go get tortured because that baby gonna stay in your arc field until you have a baby to let him out in, and he gonna keep like, Mama, when you gonna let me out this energy? I need to get in the physical. I'm like Pimp C. I need to be seen. Come on, bro. You got to hurry this thing up. I don't know what the other characters up to, man. I'm tell you, but they kind of weird, man. They be on some old weird old booty clapping type stuff. And you know, like I told y'all, me and Bud, we ain't never get down on none of them old freaky things. I already know about that Diddy party and all that, man. But that ain't how real players supposed to carry it, how they supposed to get down. I don't care what they say. uh Princess Jade, yeah, a lot of us are in higher realms from the shift, but the people standing next to you can't even tell. That's the hard part. The people standing next to you, you vibrating on 5D frequency, pure love energy, and they know there's something that's different, but they have no clue that you vibrating at such a level higher than they can ever aspire to attain because they not you. Mm. Just, they are doing okay. Skype at the North Gate. King Kong is coming. So, Iron Bush say, so are we gonna have to keep up with this brotherly battle? Prince Ea, Enki, and Enlil Yahweh, and did Nibiru intervene due to karma or benevolence? Nibiru is not who intervened. It was the Galactic Council after Tahuti blew the Gandiva to try to annihilate everything on the planet that didn't belong here, right? The asteroid belt is called the Iron Bracelet, but that is the rest of Tiamat. When Earth was known as Tiamat, it was about almost to the size of Jupiter or Saturn. It was big like those gas giants, but it was an Earth giant or a Kai giant, right? Which takes us back to divine insight. So Free Rashad Jamal, we know that shit made up by the shit that they refuse to tell the defense about their awareness of the setup by electronic media of either text messages or emails or probably both. Right. So there is no correcting your status. That's a fallacy uh, based on your attempts to status correct the way they tell you to do it by serving notices and filing affidavits and forms. You are doing all that under the jurisdiction of an entity that doesn't have the jurisdiction to lick your feet. It's all what real face. Everything I say be 100. Yeah, Cliff, you're exactly right. That love that Big Mama have, you can't get it from nowhere else. Only mothers know how to love people to that degree. It's been cures for herpes since the 50s. They was curing it in Japan with red algae treatments way back then. So I mean, shit, it's a cure for it. It's not incurable like they tell you, right? But they don't want to tell you that it's curable because they get paid far more for it being treatable than curable. They don't get paid off curing diseases. They get paid off um, administering the medication to the patient in order for the patient to be dependent on pharmaceutical industry to have a comfortable life in the misery of illness instead of take the illness away. In higher dimensions, your skin color don't matter. Only certain beings gonna reach higher dimensions, and it has nothing to do with the color of your skin. It got everything to do with your heart chakra frequency resonance in conjunction with your crown chakra thousand petal lotus. Fractal holographic universe will help with understanding self while decoding this matrix. Facts. Michael Tobin wrote the holographic universe. A must read for anybody that want to understand this matrix we in. So it's two major pieces of medical equipment that's about to be put on display and distributed at the World's Fair next year in 2025. And one is the med bed, and the other one, I don't know if they're gonna call it the healing chamber, healing pod, or they're not gonna call it the sarcophagus this time. There's going to be something about this because it's a closed building, but it can regenerate lost limbs. It can reconnect severed spines. It can go down to your DNA level, read your DNA. Once it reads your DNA, it can set you to whenever you was physically at your peak, mentally at your peak, spiritually at your peak. It ties all of the best versions of you into one new you right now because you already paid for the stuff that you were in the past that's paid in full. That means that the code that it left as an imprint on as a genetic marker is readable by the healing chamber in order to optimize you and extend your life at least to 1,000 years. And this is going to be rolled out with the med bed. The med bed, it can cure cancer and a lot of other stuff like that. Asthma, autism. Autism not really a defect. It's really a neurological upgrade, right? Right. So, ooh, the vibration of the body, right? You normally get that either when you relaxed or when you're about to go to sleep. And the reason that is because when you start separating the light body from the physical, the vibration that you feeling is the energy output of the powerhouse of the cell called mitochondria. As it puts out higher frequencies of energy, it's raising the vibration of your light body in order to match the dimensional frequency that you're supposed to wake up in. Because 3D, then you got 4D, which is mind mental matrix, and you can build a whole astral plane um, reality at the fourth dimension where people can come visit you and everything like you was in the 3D world, except it's in the world, it's in the part of the thinking world where thoughts are generated. It can change your DNA. It can upgrade um the healing pod can upgrade your DNA, downgrade your DNA. It can take away birth defects that's in your DNA. You can't produce birth defects, right? All that stuff is the potential of that machine. Cheryl, I don't know how I be doing this stuff because some of the stuff that I be running across, I doubt myself and look it up and be right. I be like, how the fuck I even know that? Yeah, chief who created school, university, trade school system. So, first of all, the modern educational concept, um, from the Western perspective, comes forth on the island of Crete, right? That's where the first university of Europe was established by Queen Helen or Hela, who is the keeper of Valhalla, the paradise of warriors. And her jurisdictional domain, um, she had the obligation to raise the locals in consciousness. So they created educational systems, um, and they called them universities back then. Like that, you didn't have university wasn't higher education; it was just education. And now it's higher education because the lower education is your training program on how to be a successful slave. Cliff Simmons, you're absolutely correct. Though children are always, even if you go back to your childhood, you instinctively was drawn to the person that the love they felt for you was unmistakable. Thank you, Raven. Glad I was able to help you. Yeah. Oh, okay. So let me get back to that. So the children, like if you go back when you used to always want to be around the people that you thought loved you. It's a joyous feeling to be in the presence of genuine people that love you for free. And it makes you want to be around them. So you had your favorite uncle. You always want to go over your favorite uncle house. And your mom be like, your uncle don't want to be bothered with your little bad ass. I might want to go over my uncle house. Your uncle don't be bothered with your little bad. He got his own life to live. He old bachelor. I'm going over uncle house. I don't know what am I talking about? Hey, uncle, what's up? Hey, nephew, super duper, what you know? What it do? Right? So children can sense when somebody's love is genuine and they sense when they in the presence of somebody who understands the concept and expression of being in a state called unconditional love. That's an energy state. It's not something you do, right? It's something you become. Unconditional love. Then you become that by practicing loving people for free. I love you because I love you, and I don't need no excuse. And that generates the unconditional love frequency on the inside of your aura. And you walking around encapsulated in pure, unadulterated, I love myself, so I love the world energy. If I didn't love me so much, I would have been destroyed the planet. But since I love me so much, I'm going to pull out this big ass band-aid, this large ass needle, and this long ass rope thread, and I'm going to sew up the wounds of Earth like I was her primary care physician, and, and tie it all together with the other people working to patch this big old hole in the heart of Mother Earth. I'm gonna bring my toolkit, right? And I'm only obligated to do the part that the universe prepared me to do. And it just so happened that some of the people listening, because I'm doing the part the universe raised me and taught me how to do, using the agency of varying people around me, right? I can come now and be the living example of overcoming the struggle in the age-old fight of good versus evil, or light versus dark, or the chess game, and galactic chess at that. Yeah. No, lust is just your natural, instinctual drive to procreate through intercourse. That's lust. The woman that can drive you into a lustful frenzy for her while y'all just having a simple conversation and hit your ass in your heart chakra, right? She's going to alter you forever. You're going to never go back to wanting for settling for anything less than that pure love energy. Uh, Cheryl Jones, we not supposed to be sending no children to school, but parents too lazy to homeschool, and the children suffer. So now they sending them to shooting galleries under false pretense of getting them education, when the reality is that the parent was just too busy or lazy, or a combination of the two, to homeschool their children. Our people do not want to go back to the cultural dynamic of the village raising the child. We want to be the dictator in our child's life, even when they're an adult. Thank you, Sherry D. Look, we talk about healing the earth's wounds, right? It's so much these people didn't did underground to earth. At any woman that can feel earth, know earth feel like she's not only been raped, but she's been strip raped by an army of hooligans. As far as the eye can see, the stuff that they was doing to them babies down there, and the terror it gave to Mother Earth by being encapsulated in the BS being encapsulated on the inside of the earth. Mother Earth don't like that. Mother Earth felt like every mother feel about their child and their neighbor child. Her mama ain't here right now, but that's my child until her mama get here. Village raised the child. Now, don't nobody want to say nothing. The girl trying to tell you that she don't know this man, and you tell her, go on, get in that car. He said he your uncle. She just told you she don't know that motherfucker. Don't make her get in that car. Oh, man, you making me blush, Cliff. I, I'm I'm with the shits. I want the smoke. I'm not backing down. But one thing about it, when people show love, that makes me blush because I'm not used to it. I'm used to. I'm the most hated. I'm the most loved and respected of the most downtrodden and be hated. So out of all the hate they gave me, I was able to love myself enough through it in order to get here and give y'all the messages of my life experience and what I discovered in the aftermath of our physical war of how we was fighting the enemy that blended in with us so well that the non-melanated ones couldn't tell us apart, and we was all assumed to be the same. We not the same. They not like us. Everybody that came to Earth came under the pretense of learning how to balance their internal self with the outternal world. And, and nobody came in that didn't intend to be here. Everybody who's here that intended to be here agreed to write their book of life before they come into the world. So they'll have a Akashic record of why they came. Once they get here, so many of them forget the purpose by which they came that they become easily led astray by people that they didn't come here to associate with. Normally, Dolo Ray J, normally when the person decide that they coming back through somebody, just the person that they love the most, and they want that person to be their parent in their next life. And so they picked who they gonna be born back through as, as the favorite of the individual, the nephew that the auntie loved the most. She gonna come back through him. She want him to pick a certain type of female, so the energy frequencies will facilitate her getting back through that seed. They not soulless, and they are a different species of being, right? And they did agree to come here, and they came with a nature that reveals who they are in the cloak of the human vessel. The character betrays the lineage of the individual that's proceeding forth. The lineage that's known as the serpent clan or the Amaru clan can take the energy of the serpent and strike on your ass without provocation or warning if they get in that energy. That means you did something. I hope, Sherry, that you write that people can assimilate the love and surrender any excuse to dislike another person. Because as long as you got a reason that you can validate why you don't like somebody that's never done anything to you and you never met, then that is a tool of divide and conquer that you are being duped into acting on as if it was your marching orders. Mm, okay. I'm looking for questions in the comments. I answered the Iron Bush question. Let's see if I see anybody else. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. I just answered the other question. Uh, are the beings doing as souls that have just made the free will decision to do this or that? I just answered that. Look, the blood and the right. The only thing negative that's going to happen to anybody in the once the matriarchal system take online, the only people, right, that's going to be punishable under that system is going to be the ones who follow all of this hatred. They don't care about what your skin color is. When we get the tribal lands back, some of the chiefs don't want no pale faces around because they still believe that the pale face is the white man and they don't know the white man ain't white. Because if they knew that, then they would realize that the person that's being used as a cat's paw is being manipulated by a nigga darker than you with nappy hair. Yep, that's the message that we got at the River Styx. And if you don't have your 2 pence to cross or your 2 farts to cross, you can't get across the river because you can't board the boat. The boat, the guy who rows the boat is Anpu. And they send him because he don't take no for an answer. When it's time, it's time. I got my girl. Happy belated birthday, Christina. Um, yeah, so remember Kamala Job in the show called Politics is to fail miserably. The reason why is it's the fall of the whore of Babylon as written in Revelations. So her chucks and pearls, it's at least 3, maybe 4 Kamala Harris's, and one of them just so happened to be a man, just like the Statue of Liberty. Well, we don't call it suicide um, because the elders that do it realize that there's nothing I can do to solve the problem, and I don't see the problem being solved. Therefore, I can no longer withstand seeing the suffering from the problem being perpetuate. And so, because of that, I'll see you later. Tiamat the dragon is not a physical dragon, it's a stream of energy that moves around on the ley lines of the planet. Dragon mean master. Normally, when you call somebody a dragon, they are the master speaker who's spitting flames in the words that he's saying, right? In the culture, we had what's called a dragon warbinding. The dragon chiefs, right? Chief Zolo, Tupac Amaru, Tahuti, all of those were the highest chiefs. They called dragon chiefs. And they wear the long war bonnet that drags the ground. Lafia. Yep. So, looking, anybody else got any questions? I'm starting to wear down now. Enjoy having y'all or being here with y'all in this space and time, and hope that we can garner the 100 monkey effect and reach critical mass in this massive turnaround that's taking place of spaceship Earth. I call it spaceship Earth sometimes, and we walking around in Earth rovers suits. Okay, so the different colors of butterflies. You remember this about the butterfly. Butterfly is the symbol of the one who has went through the molten stages and came out as the beautiful butterfly, but they went in as a slimy maggot looking caterpillar. The colors tell you either who is talking to you in your ancestral line, or it's related to your tribal colors, or related to something that has a key significance to you in the colors that the transformation of the butterfly represent. The butterfly also represents what's called the butterfly effect, where a butterfly flapping his wings in Los Angeles, the energy by the time it go from LA to New Orleans, from LA to Dallas to New Orleans to Chicago to Detroit to New York to London to Turkey to India, by the time it gets to Japan, it's a full-fledged uh, tsunami rolling in. And the side effect is it generates a mass uh, Mandela effect where events are not any longer as you remember them because there was a subtle shift in the timeline. The monarch butterfly is known as a spirit messenger to the Shinigami, or in Europe to the kings of Europe, and over here it would be to the chiefs, right? And then you use the colors in your decoding of the message that's being relayed to you by way of the butterfly. The A tone is a pitch and a frequency that allows the people to all vibrate on a very specific frequency, the A tone. In Arabic, it's the Ain. 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 It's the A tone. The uh, A on the musical scale that carries the pitch and the frequency through the musical scale in order to get to the scales of Mach, in order to determine if the balance has been met. And when you look at the scales of Mach and it's been cashed in, the heart was as light as a feather. So they give you back your heart and they replace the feather with a feather on the other side of the scale because it's perfect balance that balanced itself. And as long as the weight is the same, the balance becomes perpetual. In other words, there is no loss of energy when things are perfectly in balance. That means no entropy. And because there's no entropy, there is no conflict in the energy. Now the energy begins to operate in what's called a superconductive capacity. In my flux flow capacity, it's nothing short of mastery. That's why these riding bastards be endlessly after me, hoping life would try or to destiny or tragedy would capture me, right? So it's the A and not the minors. Yep, all hail the Queen of Heaven and Earth. So we have reports that there's a fleet coming, and we have reports that there's a lone ship. We call those jumper ships, um, using modern terminology, because they shuttle from Earth to Nibiru when Nibiru is in a certain distance from Earth. But before they come, they send probes and drones to any planet that they intend to visit. So you will have a secondary orb around your moon, which is a satellite that's using gravity assist that's in the orbit for a certain period of time, right? And that certain period of time is the time required to get for Nibiru to get from where it was when the secondary moon arrived, and when it leave, Nibiru will be right there. Yep, shout out to the Napi tribe, Unami clan, Algonquin nation up in this piece. Yep, yep, them all tied back to the um, Gullah Wars and the conflict, right? We don't know when this is going to be over until it's actually exposed and is over. Right now, they running these false narratives and these sensational news stories in order to get you to continue to push for a new slave master that they call the president. And as long as you pushing for that, they know that you are too asleep in order to be a threat to the mass awakening. When enough of us come online and critical mass is reached, it's time for shocking off for the rest of them. I appreciate it, Holy Living. Where do Coupe? What's going on? Cheryl said, not between two rivers here in New York City. Look, when I thought I was just visiting people, right? I was staying with Sylvia over in Delaware. I didn't know I was spending time with the Delaware Indians, right? Them the ones Trump just said that they would be a federally recognized tribe once he resumed his powers in office as the president. But what people don't know is when the power structure shifts over, ain't gonna be no need for no president because the matriarchs is gonna be um, in charge of filtering the assets to the relief like this, the disaster relief that's being withheld right now. Right. Okay. So Raven, what you talking about? So she said Keisha still walks in, walking